Hey folks, I'm Veronica. Thank you for joining me. This is my 36th Flosstube, and I'm so glad you're here because I have a lot to share with you this week. This month actually. It's been probably 6 weeks probably since my last video. I'm not exactly sure, but this is my 36th video. I do know that. I did check that beforehand. For those of you who are new, Flosstube is generally YouTube, the corner of YouTube that is all about cross-stitch and fiber arts. My channel is almost entirely about cross-stitch in this video. I might have a few life updates, but other than that, it's all cross-stitch, so welcome aboard. This is going to be a longer video. I'm going to talk through, let's see, I've got some life updates. I'm going to do a WIP Parade because it's halfway through the year and I wanted to check in on my goals and revisit them. And I've actually made some changes to my plans, so I'll talk to you all about that. And then finally, I went to StitchCon. I am so privileged to have been able to have gone, and I will share some of my experiences with you at the end. Since this will be a longer video, I will be putting timestamps in the description box below so you can click ahead if you want to skip past anything. I'm a little bit organized today because I've been thinking about this video all week, and so I made a list, and so I'm going to be looking down at my paper on occasion. If you're returning, you'll notice that I am in a different location. Normally I'm downstairs and it's early in the morning. It's still kind of dark out. This room gets a lot more sunlight. It's still early in the morning, still like 6:30 in the morning. Most of my family's still asleep, but I am upstairs in Minnie Muffin's bedroom. Minnie Muffin is my other cat. So Hermione is the 18-year-old black kitty cat who's sometimes appeared in my videos before. Minnie Muffin's about 13. She and Hermione don't get along, so she has to have her own bedroom. And she might appear in this video. She might not. She's a little less, I don't want to say social, because she likes some attention sometimes, but if you give her too much, she will let you know. So I decided to come up here because I think I can be a little louder. The lighting is a little bit better, and Minnie Muffin is more used to me. This room is also my office. On the other side of the room is where my computer is for work. Life is mostly back to normal, but I'm still working from home. My husband's still working from home. We still wear masks and stuff when we can, although honestly, I've been taking mine off. It's not required anymore. We're both fully vaccinated. My kids are not because they're too young. Hopefully later this summer, we'll see. They're in the next age group, I think, that will be approved for the vaccine, so we'll see. They both have birthday parties today. I mean, there's socializing and stuff happening, so it's, I would say, mostly normal. We're taking a vacation this summer and everything, so. Let's see. So, as I'm moving my arms around and stuff, you might see some nasty redness on my arms. It's here and here. That's poison ivy. Don't be alarmed. I don't recommend it. I was doing lots of yard work 2 weeks ago, and I knew I was clearing up poison ivy, and I'm I guess I'm not that bright because I'm like, oh, I'm not allergic to it. I know I've cleared it out before without any problems, and usually I just wash up real good and everything's fine. I think I was not washing up great, or maybe I touched it too much, or maybe I was just stressed about StitchCon coming up and everything, so I do not recommend poison ivy. I recommend avoiding it if at all possible, so it's not fun. The best thing that's worked for me is ibuprofen and calamine lotion. Benadryl, not so much. It worked a little bit, but it's just not strong enough. So calamine lotion. Oh, and sometimes like cool washcloth too, because for me it gets really hot. So moving on, you might notice my hair looks a little different than in my last videos. I did get a haircut for the first time in like a year and a half. Seriously, it was November 2019 when I had my last haircut. And then I stopped because of COVID and just started putting it up. And so then I had it cut, had about maybe a foot taken off. And it's so much nicer now. I feel like I can wear it down and it doesn't get too nuts. It was mostly like split ends and stuff before. So it's nice to have somewhat normal hair now that I can, I don't know, leave down or put up if I want to. Okay, so we're going to get into my WIP Parade now. I have a list of my WIPs, and I'm going to talk about each one of them in conjunction with my Go Forward WIP Go plans. So I'm going to go through the order that I did my last WIP Parade in, which was in December. So I will show you, I have one finish among that. I'll show you that finish as well. So my first, and I also have this. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to use it. It's just a white foam core. It might help with the background. I know new room, and when I do the before after, it's not the greatest because you're not getting like apples to apples comparisons, but sorry, not sorry, I guess. So the Accolade. This is a chart by Heaven and Earth Designs. It is from the painting called The Accolade by Edmund Layton, which was painted in, I think, 1899. I don't know. I've said it before and I've gotten it right or wrong. It's a beautiful painting that I've always admired, and I am stitching it 1/1 on 28 count Jobelin, which I don't recommend, honestly, for a full coverage. I don't think I'll do that again because I put it on my Omnic frame, and it's like, I don't know if you can see here, it's kind of like stretching it. No, you can't see that, sorry. But it's kind of like pulling the fibers apart, and it's, I think I may just be pulling it too tight in some places. So I'm not going to do a large full coverage on Jobelin again. But, so without further ado, here's where I'm at compared to last time. Yeah, I'm not using the foam core, am I? So as you can see, I finished a row. I'm done with 2 rows now on this. Oh yeah, here's where I am compared to just my last WIP Parade, which was 6 months ago. So I finished up pages 15 and 16. 16 was a little sliver over here and got all these people's faces in it, which was interesting to me. However, this project I am getting really, unfortunately, burned out on. I did the last 2 pages together, and I do page by page cross country. I'm doing large format pages because when I bought this, I didn't have Pattern Keeper yet, and I thought that the large format was easier to see. But with Pattern Keeper, it doesn't matter anymore. But still, I'm doing large format pages, and this last section here was 5,775 pages. It took me almost 3 weeks to do, just because I just wasn't motivated to work on this. It wasn't the confetti in this. I actually rather enjoy some confetti because, as you can see, the background-y portions are just blotchy, and those are super boring. Like, this was less boring. This page here was the best because you really see it coming to life, right? But I think I was just getting bored with the progress being so slow on this ginormous VAP. VAP is Big Arse Project. WIP is Work in Progress. Sorry, I need to go over the acronyms. It took me a long time. I was not motivated. There were some days I just didn't stitch at all on it because I just did not want to. I didn't stitch at all on those days. And then when I do finish my section, I am so happy that I jump into the next project and I stitch. So I'm thinking that is a sign. So my original WIP goal was 10 pages on this for the year. I have completed 6 of those 10. The other 4, I'm changing my WIP goal around a little bit, and I'm going to put this away for a little bit, let it take a little rest. If I feel so inspired, there's some room in my plans to work on it if I want to, but you might not see this for some time. So I've taken it off of my WIP go. I finished 6 pages. That was only 5 of the draws, so 5 of the spaces were called for pages on this, and I just did the 6th page because it was 13 stitches wide over here. So goodbye Accolade for a little bit. Sorry for those of you who like it. I think it's pretty, and when it's done, I just need something that is gonna give me more progress. And maybe I think I just need to set my goals a little bit lighter because I work full time. I have kids. I don't have more than 3 hours to stitch in a day. I've heard some people who stitch like 10 or more hours a day, which is great, if they're retired and don't have kids in the home or anybody to take care of. So, and not that people don't have other responsibilities, but I think for right now, I need to focus on my life a little bit more. And I know I went through a huge motivational period during winter break or Christmas break for that. I had a lot of time off and not a lot of housework because, outside there's nothing to do. So then I think I had more time and I saw more progress and I was more motivated. Whereas now it's summer, I'm outside getting my poison ivy and I just don't have much time and motivation, and I want to see things move a little bit faster. So I'll probably pull that out again later, but not in the next few months. So my next piece that I want to show you is, this is The Castle by Teresa Wensler. I have this on for 4 spaces on WIPGO for different sections of it. It has not been called yet. Not one of those spaces have been called yet, unfortunately. And I have picked it up to work on it a little bit now and then, so I've gotten little bits done. So I'll show you, let's see, I'm going to, yeah. So this is where I'm at now. Oops, let me use the white thing, the foam board. Because, yeah. So this is where I'm at now compared to the last WIP Parade that I did. I have not stitched on this since my last video. So I had goals to get at least the top half done, which is finishing out the wing, and then some portions of the bottom half. However, I'm changing my goals. I'm going to keep 4 spaces on for this, but I'm changing the goals to be stitch 6 days because I feel like I'm going to get burned out if I make those, you know, almost stitch count focused goals. Oh, sorry. This is on, pull it back up again. I'm starting to put it away already. So this is on I purchased 32 count Mercedes Lugana. I don't know if it shrunk a lot or if they really gave me 36 because it's teeny tiny. I counted them. I mean, there's 39 holes per inch. But I don't care because there's no beads. I am stitching those. Sorry, it's Mercedes, which is picture this plus. It's kind of like a cloud sky blue thing. I am using, there is a Kreinik conversion that is posted on Teresa Wensler's website. I am stitching the blending filament over the regular stitches. I don't think you can really see the sparkle in here, but the dragon's got sparklies, which I love, sparklies. So I haven't backstitched the top left portion at all yet. I wanted to finish out that wing first. So the castle looks partially backstitched on one side and not so much on the other. But I really enjoy this piece so much, and I can't wait to get back to working on it. So today's the 26th of June. Jessie Marie of Jessie Marie Does Stuff is going to call spaces tomorrow for July. Fingers crossed this one gets a turn. By the way, WIPGO is like bingo. It's the brainchild of Jessie Marie Does Stuff on Flosstube. And basically, you pick 24 or 25 goals for the year, and she draws randomly 2. The middle one is optional free space or optional 25th goal. I chose 24 and made that middle space my free space. And it's been fun. I did set my goals, like I said, to be stitch counter area focused, and I'm going to be changing that. So they're all 6 days per space. So my next piece, this one I do have a lot of progress on, actually. This is Dimensions European Bistro. And I worked on this at StitchCon. It was great. I actually got, well, a lot of people say, oh, I don't get any stitching done at StitchCon. I actually got a lot done. I don't think that's going to do much good here. So I finished the left half. So I'm 50% done with this, which is awesome. I'm stitching this on the 16 count kit provided Ada, which is kind of like this gray blue color. And I'm back stitching as I go. Actually, while I was stitching this, Pam from Just Keep Stitching came up to me and saw me, and she said she was gonna stitch on this if they went to Europe this year. Unfortunately, that trip got canceled due to COVID. And stupid me, I'm like, oh, cool. You know, I should have said something like, oh, I'm sorry, your trip got canceled, because they were going to go to Italy too, and I believe this is Italy. There's a lot of backstitching, though. She did come and she said, oh, it's good that you're backstitching as you go. And yeah, she was right. So I finished down here with the chairs and everything. I finished the actual stitching at StitchCon, which was fun, and then I did the back stitching. I finished the back stitching after I got home. So this one is really, really fun to work on for me. Again, I think compared to the Accolade, everything seems to go fast. This is, I think, it's not quite 100% full coverage because up here and then across the top on the part I haven't stitched yet, there are some WIP spaces that you're not stitching, but it does meet the requirement for full coverage fanatics, which is, I think, 95%. This is 98% coverage. So there's no fractionals in it because it's all Ada and everything, so it's pretty easy. Lots of half stitches though. So like all in the background, I'm not sure how much you can tell. The bottom ground here is all like, I just stitched the first leg, and that's typical of Dimensions. There's a few blends here and there too. Not as many as in the Teresa Wentzler piece, but if you don't like blends, probably steer clear of the Gold Collection Dimensions. But I don't mind them. I think it gives some depth and extra color, so I like that. So my next piece, so that was piece number 3, piece number 4. Oh, here's Minnie Muffin. I don't know if you can see her, probably not. So let's see, I do have a little bit of progress on this one. I should have shown you that last one since the beginning of the year. So, and this is sorry, meant to show this before. This is my progress since my last WIP Parade. So this, my 2021 progress so far. Okay, so my next piece is, I purchased 5 patterns from Pixel Power, and the kids are up. One of my kids got up. So a little interruption. Anyway, my next piece is I bought the five of the pieces from Pixel Power for Star Trek, partly for my husband, and they're just like little pixelated people. I'll show them here so you can see what they all look like together. So I had finished, I'll show it briefly here. I'm doing them in chronological order in the series, based on the way my husband wants them. So this is I finished this one already. It says Enterprise. I designed that top portion because there wasn't one. If you buy the patterns now, I think, at least on the one I'm stitching now, there is he charted the logo. So this one is my active travel project. So I've got a before and after for this. So let's do that. So this is before and after for this one, which is the original series since last time. And this is before and after since the beginning of the year. Now, if you buy this pattern now, you'll get the heading charted, but when I bought it, I didn't get that. It didn't come with it, I mean. So I charted my own Star Trek, and I'm going to fill in the black too. I outlined it because everyone said when you go to a retreat, you're not going to want to count or nothing, just outline your stitches and fill in. So I'd outlined the first word. I ended up not stitching on this at all because I wanted to try European Bistro. But this still is my sort of travel project piece for when I am taking my kids to their lessons, their various lessons. And I had also, since the beginning of the year, started the next generation. So this would be, I don't have a before and after since I didn't work on it, and it's also new since, the beginning of the year. But, when you think about Star Trek, hopefully you can recognize these people. And so that's that one. Those are on a, what is it? 28 count white Lugana. 2/2. Called for DMC, although my husband is requesting some changes to the pattern based on what he thinks, because he's a big Trekkie, and so he knows, for example, Worf's sash, he wanted in like a metallic, and so I'll find something for that. Cool. Okay, so my next WIP, number 5, is Mirabilia Winter White Santa MD100. For this one, this is on a 32 count Lugana in a hand dyed fabrics by Stephanie called, I don't know. It looks like Blue Sky on her website, so we'll say it's Blue Sky. So I'm going to show you, I have not worked on this since my last video, so I will show you since the beginning of the year, or since my last WIP Parade. So as you can see, I finished the top portion and started a teensy bit on the bottom here, and I had some of the bottom portion here. It's not quite 50% because more of the pattern is in the bottom half. He's got like the flowing robes and everything. I did a skin conversion on his face to give him a deeper tone, deeper complexion. And I do really enjoy this piece. I have failed to talk about my WIP Go for the last few projects, sorry. For Teresa Wensler's The Castle, 4 spaces still, I think I did mention that. European Bistro, it was done. Actually, I completed the goals. There was one more space on there for a portion, but I had already completed it. So I put another one on, so now there's 2 6-day spaces on that for European Bistro. Star Trek, I'm not putting on my WIP Go anymore because it is a travel project, so it's going to get attention. Winter White Santa was complete, so there was only 1 space. And it was for me to finish this quadrant, which I did. And so I put it on for 2 more since I really do enjoy working on this piece so much. So 2 more 6-day rotations for Winter White Santa. In here. Okay, my next piece is, it's called Spirited Away 1 by LK Cross, or Elka Cross. So if you've watched these movies, that's Chihiro, and then in the dragon, it's kind of hard to see, but the dragon over there is Haku, and this is sort of like the movie poster thing. I like anime. I like the Miyazaki movies especially. They're so much fun. This is on a 32 count taupe Lugana. I have no progress since last time, but I do have progress since the beginning of the year, since my last WIP Parade. So here's that. So my progress is that I stitched the lettering and Haku, and unfortunately it looks pretty washed out, but when you look at it in person, you can see there is a little bit more contrast there. So this piece was on WIP Go for just the 1 space, which I completed. So it's not going to be on my WIP Go board at all for the year, but I will be working on it. I'll explain later my plans. Okay, so that was number 6 of 12 to show you. So we're halfway through. Okay. My next work in progress is, I'm going to have to insert a picture. This is 12 Days of Christmas by Teresa Wensler. I have not worked on this since last time. It had 1 space on the board. I had 2 spaces on the board, and one of those got called, so these are on 28 count Monaco in like a cream color, or antique white. This is the first day. This is the second day. I had both of those complete at the start of the year, and I think I had part of the, yeah. So 3rd day is still a work in progress. As you can tell, I'm starting to stitch the 3 French hens, and the 4th day I just have the border. So my goal was to finish the rest of this one for my WIP Go, but now it's just 6 days on either one of these, probably just this one. I don't know if 6 days will do it or not for this, but we shall see. Yeah, that's all for that one, I think. Next, number 8 is another Miyazaki movie. This is also by LK Cross and also on 32 count taupe Lugana. This is Totoro by LK Cross. My WIP Go goal, I think think I have actually worked on that. I worked on this in like late December. So I'll show you before and after for the year. Again, I do not have progress since last time. So this is before and after for the year. My WIP goal was to finish that tree. And I'm almost done with it, so I don't think that'll be a problem. However, I did change it to be 6 days again, because, you know, life. I'm almost done with the tree. So maybe I'll get into Totoro a little bit more. Okay, that was number 8. Okay, so next I actually have my one and only finish. I finished other little things, I think. Well, my small exchange, which I'll talk about later, but my Super Mario by Choco Coco Stitch is done, which you might have seen in an older video. I've not framed it yet, but here's before and after for the year. In case you missed it, this is 14 count touch of blue Ada, which I think I've learned is Witch Elf, not Zweigart. But it was a really fun stitch. It's on Etsy. I think my kids have forgotten about it since they don't see me stitching on it anymore, which is kind of sad. I need to get it framed. I'm so lazy. Part of it's COVID, and I'm just trying not to have unnecessary trips. So I'm going to have like a big pile to take to my framer one of these days. So I've got 3 more that have been new starts. So that was my last of my WIP Parade for December. The next 3 that I have are starts since the beginning of the year. So my first one is by Mirabilia. This is Queen of Freedom MD64. Unfortunately, she's out of print. I started this on January 20th, Inauguration Day, in honor of our next president. And I do not have any progress since then, so if you watched my video around that time, I have no new updates. Oh, this is on the 32 count Lugana in the We the People by Fabric Flair, so it's a printed fabric. So I don't have before and after since this was a new start, but you can see I haven't stitched any of her arm yet, but you can see her arm there holding the flag. And you can see the We the People printing on the fabric. So this one was not on my WIP Go board at all, because I created that in December before I started this, before I even thought I would start this. So I added 2 spaces. Those came from the Activated, of course. So each 6 days, again, 6 days on Queen of Freedom. So I could probably put things back later. My next new start, which I started on February 3rd, is the Karamos Bestiary, which is a stitch-along by Ingleside Imaginary. I actually do have an update since last time, but I don't have an update since the beginning of the year because it was a new start. So I'll show you that since last time. This is on 32 count Lugana in a color and cotton fabric of the month exclusive. So here is, oh boy, last time versus this time. And coming in, this is the Griffin. This was the June creature, which is very exciting. And I just love when we get close to the end of the month and we see like the new creature that comes out. I think my favorite was the Sphinx and the Pegasus. Sphinx is really cool. But anyway, so these are Greek fictional creatures in Greek mythology and a Grecian urn. And every month one comes out. It's a mystery as to which ones will be where. And my first ever mystery stitch along that I am keeping up with. So I'm proud of myself. There, it's not in my WIP Go board because I've left room in, so 6 days on each thing for the other thing. So there's room for this. Each one takes me usually 3 to 4 days to stitch, even when working. So they're not too bad. The border was the big hefty thing, especially those beefy arms. All right. That was number 10. Okay, so I have one more to show you, and that's a new start since last time even. It is called Alphabet by Lottie Da. So this is not what I typically stitch, right? This is like samplery alphabet. I've never stitched an alphabet before. I bought this at StitchCon and kitted it up. I even bought the NPI silks, and I bought this for a teacher. So I was looking for a gift to give to her. She is sort of a family friend, and she's taught both of my boys, and she's now moving to a different school. So I wanted to give her like a goodbye gift, and I wanted to find something kind of small to stitch for her. I kitted this up at StitchCon. I was looking for like teachery things, but after thinking about it, you know, first grade teacher can have an alphabet in her classroom and nobody would think much of it. So I bought, here's where I'm at right now. Well, I don't know if this makes a difference or not, but I got the A and part of the border. I'm stitching this on 40 count. Oh shoot, what was it? Let me look it up here. Newcastle linen in water green. I don't actually know who the manufacturer is. I would guess it's Figart, but I think there was an orange thread in the salvage. But anyway, yeah, I bought the called for NPI silks, which is really nice to stitch with. I don't have a lot of experience stitching with silks, but I think it'll go a little bit faster because there will be less fraying in the end. Maybe fewer knots too. I haven't noticed hardly any. I'm pretty new to 40 count. I've stitched on silk gauze before, but never fabric. But it's not too bad if I wear the reading glasses and have good light. So I'm stitching this 1 over 2 threads, which I think is the typical like sampler way to do things, right? But yeah, I like the way it's turning out. It's really pretty. I kind of do have a stitchy goal here, and that is to get this done before the end of the summer, which I think I can manage little bits here and there. So I don't have this in my WIP Go, but there's space. So I started on a 6/24, June 24th, 2 days ago today. And that is my WIP Parade. So next I am going to talk to you about my goals and plans, sort of. So I mentioned WIP Go quite a bit. So here is my new WIP Go board. The spaces that I've completed everything, I'm all caught up for June. The spaces that are complete, I'm not going to change, but the ones that are incomplete, I changed all the goals to be 6 days and then replaced the accolade with some of the other projects that I'd rather be stitching on right now, as I mentioned before. So whenever a month gets called, or the 2 spaces for a month get called, that's 12 days, right? Which is not a full month. So the other days in the month, I intend to do a rotation similar to Andrea C. of I Heart Cross Stitch. She does oldest, smallest gift, oldest, smallest gift. I am going to focus on just 2 of those, and I'm going to focus on instead of smallest, closest to a finish, and gift. And if I don't have a gift, then it's going to be oldest. So my closest to a finish right now is Spirited Away. So that's why I didn't feel like I needed to put that back on the WIP Go rotation. So for 6 days every month I will spend on Spirited Away until she's finished. And then I'll move on to the next closest to a finish. And then my gift is the alphabet piece, which I just showed you. When I finish that, my oldest project is 12 Days of Christmas. So those will be getting 6 more days. So 6 times 4, remember, 2 from WIP Go, closest to a finish, and gift or oldest. So 6 times 4 is 24, because math, as Steph would say. There's still days left in the month. So for those remaining days, I will be working on Karamos Bestiary, and then whatever calls to me. So there will be, we're not going to have a February in the remainder of 2021, but if it's a 30-day month, that's 6 more days. If it's a 31-day month, that's 7 more days. So it should be time for me to fit in other things that I want to stitch on or want to try again. So I might pick up the accolade there. I might work a little bit more on the other things that I worked on earlier in the month. For me, a day of stitching is anywhere between 1 stitch, and usually I get max 3 hours in a day. So it's not a whole lot, but hopefully you'll see some progress on the ones that I'm focusing on. And I think I've tried to make it really easy on myself too for WIP Go, because my rewards are to start some of the BAPS, big artist projects that I have kitted up that I really, really want to stitch. So other pieces that I will be hopefully able to share with you in the second half of the year, because we've not had a bingo up, down, left, right, or angle at all yet this year, but we're close. And she's obviously going to call them all. There will be a blackout at the end of the year. If I can complete all the 6 days of stitching for each one of the ones that are called, it shouldn't be a problem. So I wanted to make that goal as easy as possible on myself. I don't think I have too many WIPs right now, and hopefully by focusing on closest to a finish, that number might even go down a bit too. So next, I want to share with you some stories and my experiences about StitchCon. This was my first ever retreat. I went to the second weekend, so there were 2 weekends, weekend A and weekend B. I went to weekend B. I had an absolute blast, and I met some friends that I'm lifelong friends with. I know will say, and they're my BFFs, as we're calling each other. And I've never been to a retreat before. If you've never been to a retreat before, I highly, highly recommend it. It's so much fun to meet new people and to just geek out about cross stitch together. And StitchCon, there were so many opportunities for shopping, and oh my gosh, I'm not even going to show you that, but we'll insert a picture of all the haul that I got here. So I'm not going to show you one by one haul. There's no haul this video. I've got some fabrics from my monthly clubs too, but this is too much. This video is going to be way too long anyway. But yeah, so yeah, let me talk about all the shopping opportunities. So it's close to Keepsakes, and the event is put on by the owner of Keepsakes, Barbara Hills. And so there were plenty of opportunities to go to Keepsakes. Got to ride on this Stitchy bus. And it was so much fun. And so I bought a whole bunch of stuff there. That's where I kitted up Alphabet. And in addition to that, there are there's something called that they call the Annex, where they have a bunch of trunk shows, and you can buy a bunch of amazing things from there. They have all the models set up, and so beautifully. Some of the designers were even there. I got to meet Liz Matthews. She is so, so sweet. She is just like in her videos. And Sue Hillis, and I forgot her name from Heart and Hand. But it was so much fun. Everyone was so nice too, and I spent so much money in the Annex in addition to Keepsakes. And that's just open whenever StitchCon is open. You don't have to go off-site for that. You just walk over from your stitching table across the hallway, and there's a giant cross-stitch store, basically. And then there is the freebie table, which is people putting out stuff they don't want. I dropped off a whole bunch of my things, things I had stitched or things that I don't plan to stitch. And some of them didn't make it to the freebie table because I handed them out to my table mates. And similarly, I picked up some things from my table mates before they made it to the freebie table, and some things I picked up off of the freebie table. And then on top of that, people are handing stuff out. And then there's the swag you get at StitchCon. So when they say bring an empty bag or suitcase, I brought a box. I brought like an old shipping box, and I definitely filled that up. So it was fun. So that's the shopping. Oh yeah, so there were some adventures that we had while we were there. You might have heard about the cicadas. So every 17 years, this particular brood comes to Cincinnati. And I live in northern Ohio, so it's about a 3-hour drive south. We didn't have any cicadas in where I live. And about maybe an hour into my drive down, I started to see and hear them. And then when I got to Cincinnati, they were everywhere. And I heard they were far worse for the weekend A folks. That's when they were peaking. But it wasn't so bad. Actually, I think they're kind of cute. And there were actually some like cross stitch. There was a freebie cross stitch pattern that they handed out in the swag for this with the cicada on it. And then one of the makers there in the Annex had created Brood X stitch because it's Brood X or 10. So they wrote Brood X stitch and had a little cicada stitching. It was so funny. So she had needle minders and shirts for that. The cicadas did cause a little bit of a problem in the stitching room. The first day we were there, it was really hot and humid, and everyone had said from weekend A, like, bring sweaters, it's cold in the stitching room. And we were all sweating, and everyone like had their fans on, and it was awful. And the HVAC system wasn't working basically. And it turns out the cicadas were the problem. Like, they had gone in, they liked the hum of the system, and so they had clogged it up so badly that they needed to be cleaned out. I'm sure it was disgusting. But that was Thursday. By Friday, everything was nice and cool and back to normal. Usually I am cold all the time, so I brought like layers and layers, but I welcomed the coolness because it was just hot with all the people in there and everything, and no air blowing. So the next, we also had another adventure. It was a tornado, tornado warning, and watching a warning on Friday nights. So we were kind of locked into the stitching room, and so that was a little bit scary, but kind of fun and exciting at the same time. There's a late night stitching room, so that it's open until 10, and then starting at 11, you could go from 11 to 2 at a different location. I'm not a night person, I'm a morning person, so as much as I wanted to go, I just couldn't get there. So that one night with the tornado, it was kind of scary. I'm running back to my car to drive to the hotel because I stayed at a slightly different hotel. I have Marriott points, so I wanted to use those. And it wasn't far, but I still had to drive. A lot of people stayed in the same building pretty much as the Sharonville Convention Center. But so I had to drive, and there's lightning and stuff, and I'm freaking out just driving back to my hotel. So that was an adventure. But I made it. It's all good. I don't think anyone got hurt. I don't know if there was actually a tornado or if it was just like a funnel cloud, but warning usually means something is spotted. So, let's see. Okay, so I was sat at table 20 and met some of the most amazing stitchers that I've ever met. They were so much fun, and I think I picked the best table. So I took a little video of them, and I'm going to insert that here. This is Julie and Sharon. Number table 20. This is Tracy. And here's Marianne. Oh!
So happy to be with all of you guys. Thank you for a wonderful...
These are my besties.
That's right.
We have the best table. And someone just rang the bell.
No, it was somebody else. Oh.
So we had such a blast together. We hung out the whole time. We went out to eat together. We stayed and stitched together. We talked a lot about a lot of things. We went to the shops together and everything. And we're hoping to meet again in future Stitch Cons and other retreats. They're from all over the country. Let's see if I can remember. Julie's from Iowa. Sharon is from New Jersey. Tracy's from Seattle, Washington. And Marianne is from Florida. So I was the only Ohio person there. So they all came in from far. They all brought their husbands too. It was really nice to meet them. My husband stayed home with the kids, but maybe next year we talked about maybe him coming too. Hopefully I can go next year, fingers crossed, hopefully we can all meet again. Because I had such a blast with them. They are so funny and so much fun to be around. I really hope none of them have floss tubes. So you guys need to make some. Sorry with the you guys. I need to stop that. So I'm going to go on a little tangent here. I am trying to stop saying you guys because it's gendered, and I'm not trying to be PC, and I don't judge people who do say it, because when people say you guys, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm one of the guys, whatever. I grew up in the Midwest, and that's just how you say plural you. But I have to recognize that there are some people who might not like that, and I really want everyone to feel comfortable on my channel. So I'm going to try to say you all, y'all, I guess. My husband's from Tennessee, so maybe it's okay. Or just you, or everyone. So if I say you guys and you do not feel included in that, know that I intend to include you, and I'm sorry, and I'm working on it. So next, so smalls exchange. So there was an optional exchange you could do where you could stitch something small, fully finish it, wrap it up real pretty, and put it on a table, and then people randomly pick and choose. If you've seen other StitchCon recaps, you'll know what I'm talking about. So I stitched something for the smalls exchange. I made a bookmark. I made some videos of myself stitching it, and I'm going to kind of insert an abbreviated clip here. I don't think I showed something with my fully finished thing, though. Sorry. So here's some brief videos of me showing that. Hello, future Flosstube viewers. Today's April 10th, 2021, and I'm going to show you what I worked on for the Smalls Exchange for StitchCon. And this is called Festive Bookmarks. It's by Doreen Jones. So I finished the penguins. Aren't they cute? I'm doing this on 18 count Ada. I also bought this little gift bag. So hey there, today is the 17th of May, and I have an FO of my StitchCon Smalls Exchange. So last video, which you probably just saw a second ago, I showed you the penguins. And this time I finished the polar bears. So together, we're still less than 6 by 6 inches, which is the rule for the Smalls Exchange. So this is the front and back of the bookmark, or the poles, right, top and bottom. And so what I'm going to do is sew them together. I'll trim it and sew them together. And I put it on the table, and it was picked up by Crafty Kara. So I'm going to link her below. She's got Flosstube, and I think you should check her out and give her some love, because she posted to the Facebook group that she had a little bit of a adventure on the way home, a little challenge, and I'm not going to tell you what that was. That's for her to tell you, but go give her some love. She's amazing. She really liked the bookmark that I made for her, and yeah, so the person that I picked, the gift that I picked up something that was made by Summer Rumsey, Summer X Stitches, and I'll link her below. She made me this, so I beautifully wrapped package with undersea creatures in it, and I love that sort of thing. It had a treasure chest inside, which I haven't shown this to my kids yet because they're going to snatch it. And this is what she stitched. I love him. He's so cute. I think he's the Kraken from Summer House Stitchworks, which makes sense because her name is Summer. So, but he's so beautifully stitched, so perfectly stitched. The pillow, she finished it fully. Oh my gosh, I love him. He's so cute. This is going to sit by my stitching and be my little pin cushion. She also had a business card, which she made, which is really smart, because then it makes it easy to like hand. A lot of people have these like business cards to hand out to people. Included in the set, in the gift, was a scissors fob with, I don't know if you can see this so well. Got a little mermaid tail, starfish, and a little token that says mermaid kisses and starfish wishes. I already got it on my scissors, as you can tell, so it's being used. And some needle minders. Oops. The magnet fell off of that one. So we have a kraken or a squid needle minder, and this pretty little flower button, which she said she made. So that was really, really nice. And then there were candies too, which are long gone. So thank you, Summer. I love my gifts. And then here's my, I'm just got a pile here of stuff. Here's my name tag. So the name tags look like this. If you have a YouTube or Instagram, they put that on there too. So one easy thing for people who didn't have the business cards was to take a picture of them with their name tag, which I did a lot of that too, especially for the people who had like an Instagram or a YouTube. And I think that's all I have. Oh yeah, one more thing about StitchCon, the brag table. Okay, so I've talked about the freebie table, which was in the stitching room. There was also something called the brag table, where you can bring your fully finished, or not quite yet fully, but finished, or even I think WIPs, but I didn't see any WIPs, but something pieces that you're really proud of, and put them out on the table, and then you can walk by and just see, oh my gosh, it was just amazing. I brought my Mermaids of the Deep Blue, which I finished in 2020, and I have not yet FFO'd or framed that yet. FFO means fully finished object. But I did lay that out there, and I took some videos of the brag table. They're long. I'm going to insert them here, but before I do, since they're so long, because that's going to be the finish, I'm going to wish you all well. Thank you for watching. Think critically. I'll end this with the brag table and some music. So I know a lot of other StitchCon recaps have it, but I want to share with you my experience too. So here's my video. I'll see you next time. Bye.